What's good? I'm Resub, and I am a serial Osirion user. I actually have been before it was even called Osirion, so I want to show you some of my favorite features of the website to convince you that this is an awesome product. The first one is their replay viewer. Now, this is what I've actually been using for a long time, since before this was even called Osirion. So any tournament that's been finished already, so let's say the PlayStation Cup, you can click on any of the people in the leaderboard here, and you can go to view match. And in here, there's a ton of stats that you can look at. You can look at all the leaderboards, all this other stuff as well. But most importantly, you can watch the replay. So now that it's open, you can see the actual stats of the player I clicked on, which is super useful. You can see the weapons that were used the most, the scoreboard as well, and you can click on each individual player to actually see what their individual stats were. And the match viewer. Now, this in particular is what I have been using Osirion for the over 2 years, since I was an analyst on the broadcast. It takes a little minute to load, but once it does, you can actually just drag through on a complete map view of the entire game. Now, this is super useful for finding people, say, if I want to see if people are landing at my specific drop spot, which is down here in this game, it's uncon. If I was going to look at a pro's drop spot, wherever that may be, let's pretend Anthony is a pro, I want to figure out what looting path are they taking. I can just simply skip through and see exactly what to do. This guy doesn't even move. He just stays here the whole time. You can see where the zones are pulling. If I'm trying to grab information on a bunch of different games at once, this is by far the fastest way to do it because actual replays in game are incredibly slowly. So I use this to supplement that information. The next thing that's super useful for doing kind of similar things is the hypermap. Now, you can use this as a drop map calculator, which let's just click a random point on the map and it will just actually generate the full drop map for you after a couple of seconds here. Now, the best part about this is that you can actually change the number of height offsets. So say if this isn't quite right, say if there's something below this, if I do this in this building, you can actually change the number of tiles over here to make it regenerate the drop map so that it's a little bit further away, which is super useful if you're doing it inside a building somewhere. On top of that, one of the most useful features of this is the metal map. So you can just click the metal map here, and this is what it currently is. So for your specific drop spot, again, over here, I can try and find the specific tiles that have the most metal, which is the most efficient to harvest. Regardless, Osirion is a sick product. They're continually evolving and improving it as time goes on. So, has my vouch.